To sin, or not to sin. There is a thin line between transitioning from good to evil, or evil to good. What does it take for a human being to be engulfed in the darkness of sins? What can a person do to be embraced by the brightness of virtues? Do people commit sin because they have fears? If there are no fears, will people be virtuous and righteous? It is extremely difficult not to fall into sin. After all, we are all created to be vulnerable. The 7 deadly sins are transgressions, which are fatal to spiritual progress. They are also called the 7 capital sins, 7 cardinal sins, or 7 vices. To counteract or fight them, the 7 cardinal virtues must be exercised. Each of the 7 deadly sins are represented by the 7 princes of hell, while the 7 cardinal virtues are embodied by the 7 archangels and angels of heaven. Now, what are the 7 deadly sins, and the 7 virtues that can counteract, or oppose them?
Pride.
Pride is an excessive view of oneself without regard for others. It is the desire to be more important or attractive to others, failing to give credit due to others, or excessive love of self. It is related to vanity or narcissism. Pride is the fear that we are not good enough. We do everything in our power to justify ourselves. We compete by trying to place ourselves above our competition. We seek to prove our excellence. Pride is represented by Lucifer, the fallen angel of pride. To counteract or vanquish pride, a person must have humility. It is removing one's ego and boastfulness, therefore allowing the attitude of service. Humility is represented by Archangel Raphael.
Greed.
Greed is an excessive pursuit of material goods. It is a strong desire to gain money or power. It is associated with disloyalty, deliberate betrayal or treason. Greed can be seen in scavenging and hoarding of materials or objects, theft or robbery. Greed is the fear that we will not have enough, and we want to get more, and more, and more. Greed is represented by Mammon, the demon of wealth and greed. To counteract or vanquish greed, one must have charity. It is giving freely without attachment or resentment. It is the desire to help others. Charity is represented by Archangel Michael.
Lust.
Lust is a strong passion or longing, especially for sexual desires. It is an obsessive unlawful depraved thought, or unnatural desire for sexual excitement, which includes desiring sex with a person outside marriage, or engaging in unnatural sexual appetites. Lust is the fear that we will not be able to control the world in which we live in, and the people around us. So we want to seize control now, whether it be possession of a person, or grasping some sort of power. Lust is represented by Asmodeus, the Nephil of lust. To counteract or vanquish lust, a person must have chastity. It is controlling the sexual desires that a person has, and restraining our wandering eyes. Chastity is represented by Archangel Uriel.
Envy.
Envy is the intense desire to have an item, or even a person, that someone else possesses. It is the resentment of material objects, accomplishments, or character traits of others, or wishing others to fail or come to harm. Envy is the root of theft and self-loathing. It is the fear that someone else has more than we have, or something that we really want, to make our lives full as others seem to be. Envy is represented by Leviathan, the dragon of envy. To counteract or vanquish envy, a person must have kindness. It is the desire to help others, above the need to supersede them. Kindness is represented by Archangel Ramiel. Gluttony is an excessive and ongoing eating of food or drink. It is the thoughtless waste of everything, overindulgence, uncleanliness, and maliciously depriving others. It is the refusal to share and unreasonable consumption of more than is necessary, especially food or water. Gluttony is the fear that we will not have enough food, or fear of starvation. This sin is represented by Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies. To counteract or vanquish gluttony, a person must have temperance. It is moderation or having self-restraint on consuming food and drink. Temperance is represented by Angel Cassiel. Sloth is an excessive laziness or the failure to act, and use one's talents. It is idleness, wastefulness of time, or being stagnant. Laziness is particularly condemned, because others must work harder to make up for it. Sloth is the fear that we cannot do something well enough, and so we put off starting it. It is represented by Baal Peor, the demon of sloth. To counteract or vanquish sloth, a person must have diligence. It is exhibiting constant and earnest effort, to accomplish what has been undertaken, regardless of the circumstances. Diligence is represented by Archangel Gabriel. Wrath is a strong anger and hate towards another person. It is impatience or revenge outside of justice, and wishing to do evil or harm to others. Wrath is the root of murder and assault. Wrath is the fear that others are not meeting our expectations of them, so we will be out of control. Wrath is represented by Satan, the devil of wrath. To counteract or vanquish wrath, one must have patience. It is understanding first the needs and desires of others before acting, speaking, or having uncontrollable rage. It is tolerating what we cannot control. Patience is represented by Angel Azrael. It is hard not to fall into sin. We are mere human beings, composed of varying emotions and temperaments. We are all bound to sin, whether we like it, or not. However, there is one feeling that we need to have, to help us from falling into sin, and that is, the feeling of being loved. Love is the overall quality of God's relating to us. When I know that I am loved, I need no other assurance that I am worth something. I need not be afraid. I do not fear anything, because I am fulfilled.